Audio Jungle.
Westmoreland man Ravin Jones missing. The police are seeking the public's assistance in locating 28-year-old Ravin Jones of Darlington, Westmoreland, who has been missing since Thursday, October 9. Jones is of brown complexion, slim build, and about 5 feet 9 inches tall. Reports from the Darlington police are that about 8 a.m., Jones was last seen in Darlington wearing a pink and white polo shirt, blue jeans, and a pair of blue sneakers. He has not been heard from since. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Ravin Jones is being asked to contact the Darlington police at 876-955-0088, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Christiana vendor killed in deadly vegetable dispute, another in custody. A dispute reportedly over the non-payment of money for vegetables between two vendors in Christiana turned deadly on Saturday, with two vendors being stabbed, one fatally and another in police custody with a head injury. Police named the deceased vendor as Ryan Williams, 21, a resident of Harwich district in Manchester. A police source reported that about 5 p.m., the three vendors were involved in an altercation, allegedly, over the non-payment of Pop Troy when they got into a fight. One vendor who reportedly sustained a head injury allegedly used a knife to inflict stab wounds on two of the other vendors, including Williams. The two vendors who sustained stab wounds were rushed to the Percy General Hospital, where Williams succumbed to his injuries, and the other vendor was admitted for treatment. Police later apprehended the third vendor, who had reportedly received medical treatment for his head injury. St. Elizabeth mother and child missing. The police have issued a high alert for 14-year-old Kenada Burton and her 10-month-old daughter, Kara Burton, both of Pepper District, St. Elizabeth, who have been missing since Sunday. Kenella, also known as KK, is of brown complexion, stout build, and about 5 feet 4 inches tall. Her daughter, also called Blessing, is of brown complexion, as statement read. According to the Santa Cruz police, Kenella and her daughter were last seen at home around 10:45 a.m. Their mode of dress at the time is unknown, and they have not been heard from since. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is being asked to contact the Santa Cruz police at 996-2289, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Kingston Higgler charged with double murder in Denham Town. A 26-year-old Higgler from Kingston has been charged in connection with the murder of two men in Golden Heights area of Denham Town, downtown Kingston, 2 years ago. The accused, Uncle Douglas, of Upper Oxford Street in Denham Town, faces 2 counts of murder, conspiracy to murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, using a firearm to commit a felony, and being a part of a criminal organization, a police source noted on Saturday. The charges stem from April 25, 2023 killing of 66-year-old woodworker Lawrence Rosie Henry of Torrington Park and 52-year-old landscaper Alfred Tracy Downey of Golden Heights. According to reports from the Denham Town Police, Douglas and his accomplices, armed with firearms, entered the Golden Heights community and opened fire on Downey, hitting him in the upper body. While escaping, the gunmen allegedly encountered Henry in another section of the community and shot him as well. Both men were rushed to hospital, where they were pronounced dead. After months of investigation, Douglas was arrested and later charged following an interview in the presence of his attorney on Friday. Top Cop Defense POA cheers Ulster. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake has defended his decision to declare the chairmanship of the Police Officers Association POA vacant, citing serious financial irregularities and a failure to provide accountability within the organization. In a sworn affidavit filed to respond to the legal challenge by Senior Superintendent Wayne Cameron, Blake said the last POA annual general meeting, AGM in 2022, revealed glaring contradictions and irregularities in the association's unaudited financial accounts. This sparked a strong and contentious debate, and the presentation of those accounts was suspended with a resolution to present audited accounts within 3 months. However, Blake said no such reports have been produced since then, and no further AGMs had been held, contrary to the resolution and in breach of expectations of the members. The POA represents over 350 senior officers from the rank of the inspector up to deputy commissioner and is funded by salary deductions. 3 years later, according to Blake's affidavit obtained by reporters, the association's accounts are now frozen on the advice of investigators to safeguard the funds. He claimed that Cameron, the only executive member with access to the POA's bank account, has refused to hand over control of the Secretary-Treasurer despite repeated requests. He insisted that his decision, announced on September 8 to declare the position of the POA chairman vacant, was not motivated by spite, but was done to safeguard the funds contributed to the association by the membership. To have ignored the matter would have been amounted to a gross dereliction of my duty. There was nothing clandestine or retaliatory on my action, Blake said, noting that an investigation is ongoing. Blake also urged that the POA is not a legally established or self-regulating body like the Jamaica Police Federation, but rather a voluntary group that operates under the supervision of the Commissioner of Police. Cameron had claimed in an affidavit filed in support of his lawsuit and a grievance report to the Office of the Services Commission (OSC) that he endured political victimization and harassment from Blake and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang. The OSC is the human resources arm of the government. Chang has rejected the claim as totally dishonest. Cameron also claimed that the police commissioner's attempt to unseat him as chairman of the POA was retaliation for the grievance he filed with the OSC. I have suffered occupational detriment. I have been victimized, harassed, being transferred against my will, and refused promotion, he charged in grievance report. As an example, Cameron indicated that in August 2023, he was among 10 senior superintendents who were promoted to assistant commissioner. But he said 11 months and 2 weeks later, he was removed from the post of assistant commissioner, a move he believes was a breach of the police staff order and was calculated to bypass an OSC circular requirement, a permanent appointment after 1 year in the post. In addition, Cameron said that in December last year, the commissioner gave instruction that he should be transferred from his post to commander of the Ports Division to administrative officer for the Police Area 5. However, the senior cop said he objected to the transfer, which would have placed him under the command of an officer who was his junior and considered it a breach of the police standard operating procedures. But the police commissioner, in his response, said despite disciplinary concerns, his genuine intention was to recommend to the Police Services Commission that Cameron be promoted to the rank of Assistant Commissioner and that he would take command of the Port Security Branch. He cited as example internal disciplinary cases pending against Cameron, stemming from several incidents in 2020, claims that senior cops went absent without leave for 2 weeks, and his alleged refusal to report for duty at the Police Area 5 in January this year after his transfer was announced. Cameron was tasked with working alongside outgoing Port Security Branch Commander Assistant Commissioner Marlon Nesbitt to formulate and commence implementation of a broader security plan and was told his promotion was conditional on carrying out these duties, Blake informed. He said despite these clear directives and the urgency of the assignment, SSP Cameron failed to provide the requisite support in the formulation and implementation of the plan and its consequential operations. The dereliction of responsibility was not incidental but part of a recurrent pattern, Blake charged. The police commissioner noted that it was not unusual within the ranks of the police forces for members with fewer years of service to hold higher ranks than someone with greater years of service. He said Cameron benefited from this when, as a corporal in 2002, he was selected for the graduate entry program and promoted to assistant superintendent upon completion. He immediately assumed command over officers who were at the time far senior to him in both rank and age. Cameron's application for leave to seek judicial review of Blake's attempt to remove him as chairman of POA is scheduled to be heard in the Supreme Court on October 29. Man held after cops seize gun, ammo and imitation firearm from St. Andrew raid. A man was taken into police custody on Saturday after the police seized a firearm, ammunition, and several imitation guns during a pre-dawn operation on Coldbeck Avenue in St. Andrew. A team from the St. Andrew South Police Division conducted a targeted raid at the premises. About 4:45 a.m., a police statement read, "During the search, the lawmen reported they found one 9mm pistol, one 9mm magazine, 14 9mm cartridges, and 4 imitation firearms." The police say the man who was found at the location was taken into custody in connection with the seizure and is expected to be charged soon. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.